Hey everybody, this is Dr. Langdon. You know that I couldn't not respond to what happened on January 5th, 2026, a day that will go down in infamy among all of us who care about children. Immunologists, scientists, microbiologists, public health officials, epidemiologists, pediatricians, all the physicians in the world that care about children are mortified. We are angry. We do have a little bit of, I told you so. We warned you that RFK Jr. was a liar when he testified before the Senate. Looking at you, Dr. Bill Cassidy, that he wouldn't attempt to make a single change to the United States childhood immunization schedule. Baloney and BS, and here we are. So let me just explain quickly to you what has happened. It was already a sham. You know, he fired all the actually qualified members of the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices, ACIP, that advises the CDC, and replaced him with his own hand-picked anti-vaxxers who don't know anything about science. So frustrating. Well, then, ironically, when he just single-handedly declared that he was removing 6 vaccines from the routine childhood schedule yesterday, he didn't even consult the ACIP. They didn't do a vote. There was absolutely no reason for this to happen. It was dangerous. It's damaging. It's destructive. It's going to hurt children. And you know what happens when children get hurt and when they get sick and they go into the emergency room? They're cared for by physicians. And let's say they're really sick and they go to the pediatric intensive care unit. They're cared for by pediatric intensivists. Do you know what? We'll take care of your children. RFK Jr. won't be there to take care of your children. We are operating on the very same science when we intubate and check blood gases and manage your acutely, critically ill baby in the hospital. Same science as we learned in medical school that taught us the effectiveness of vaccines. The vaccines as a preventive measure could help your infant toddler never have to be in the pediatric intensive care unit. Do you see why this is so frustrating for us? And you won't find those grifters. You won't find big wellness working in the PICU, intubating your baby and keeping them alive on a ventilator. No, that'll be us. Those of us who believe in science, those of us who recommend vaccines. So just from my own personal experience, let me tell you a little bit. One of the ones he recommended removing was RSV. Well, technically RSV isn't even really a vaccine. It's a monoclonal antibody. Nirsevimab is the one we're using now, and it's incredible. We used to have to use Synagis, which was extremely expensive and had to be dosed once a month. So you could only qualify for it if you had severe congenital cyanotic heart disease, chronic lung disease, extreme prematurity, etc. And it was once a month, had to be receive prior authorization for every dose. Such a pain. So we all rejoiced when Nirsevimab became available, and already we have data from last season that the number of hospitalizations was dramatically reduced in that season, because RSV is the number one cause of hospital admission for children under 12 months and can lead to extremely severe respiratory distress and even respiratory failure. Terrifying. Why would you not want protection against RSV? Explain that to me. I also remember back in the day before we had the rotavirus vaccine, it's not even a shot. Everybody thinks vaccines are shots. No, and not all shots are vaccines. Please get your vitamin K for your baby at birth. That's a different video. But rotavirus vaccine is a liquid that the baby drinks, depending on the brand name, at 2, 4, and 6 months, or just 2 and 6. And it helps provide a mucosal protection. It induces the production of antibodies, and your baby can fight off the rotavirus, the real virus in real life, and not get so sick. Well, before we had this vaccine, we would have a peak of hospital admissions in the month of March. And here's how it's easy to remember that, because their stool, which was voluminous, was bright green, the color of, St. Patrick's Day. So it's easy to remember. Why would you not want to be protected against RSV? Why would you not want to be protected against rotavirus? It makes no sense. Oh my goodness. Call me crazy. How about meningitis? You think it would be a good idea to not die of meningitis if we had a vaccine that could prevent it? Yes, that would be a very good idea. I have stories about tragedies of children dying of meningitis. I never wish to see that happen again. And this is why I feel passionately, why other pediatricians feel so passionately about the importance of safe and effective vaccines so that children don't have to suffer and die from vaccine preventable diseases. Let's talk about flu. You guys, last year in the 24-25 season, there were over 280 deaths of children from influenza, and most of those children were unvaccinated. There is no reason to eliminate the flu vaccine from the standard childhood vaccine schedule. It makes no sense. And then also getting rid of or no longer recommending officially the hepatitis A and hepatitis B vaccines. I've spoken about those at points in the past. I am beyond shocked, beyond outraged, and completely furious. This is dangerous and unnecessary. There is no reason for our public health system to be falling apart right now. There's no reason for the vaccines to not be recommended and easily available. This is absurd and exactly what we were concerned about. And I'm sort of tired of trying to be polite and holding back because children's lives are at risk now for no reason except political gain. So when political gain has been put above child health, we're in a bad place, you guys. That's what I wanted to say. Thanks for listening.